Yes, and I have experienced quite a few things throughout my life. I'm from Brazil, and unfortunately, gender bias is still very predominant there. I remember back in the days when I was still in high school being told by a professor that IT or engineering is not really meant for women because it's too technical and men would probably be better suited for this type of role. I also remember being asked in a final stage of an interview if I had plans to get pregnant anytime soon. And that question was only asked because they saw my marital status as married. And although I answered no for that, and I was clearly a good fit for the position, I didn't get it.
The fix women's imposter syndrome narrative has persisted decades over decades. Women are often told that if they can fix that imposter syndrome, they'll have more success in their careers. But is it really a lack of confidence holding us back, or is this a systemic bias?
So women are directly or indirectly taught to be nice, polite, kind, and therefore we tend to apologize more often than men, even for things that we cannot control, do not depend on us, or just in situations in which makes no sense at all.
I've definitely experienced unconscious or conscious gender bias throughout my career. I've spent over 20 years working in the tech industry, and it's definitely a male-dominated industry. And when you're working with a software product, you will get many questions or people wondering, what do you know about this program or project, of this code or of this product development? Just because, well, you don't look like the typical person who apparently would know that. Many times I was in meetings that even though I was leading the program or the project or the team, the questions were addressed to my male counterpart, so the eyes would go to that person and address it to that person, even though I was the person who was leading a team in a project. A little bit frustrating, so I'd have to bring it back to me and say, right here, I'm the one you need to talk to.
I work as a host, as a greeter at the restaurant before, and I work alongside of my male colleague. There's a day that I'm not smiling because sometimes I forgot to smile. I did got the complaint back from the customer that I was not providing like good service to their expectation. But there was a time that I observed my colleague, see how he treat customer, how he work with the customer and do his role. I started to notice that he just present himself as he is. He didn't even smile.
I am aware of unconscious gender bias, and I notice it most in sports. Let's talk about tennis, and let's take a look at Rafael, who won his 21st Grand Slam title. And what did the press say about it? The press said nobody has 21 Grand Slams. Rafael Nadal became the greatest Grand Slam champion of all. Let me tell you something, that is not true. There are 3 women who already broke that barrier in the past. Steffi Graf with 22 Grand Slams, Serena Williams with 23, and Margaret Court with 24 actually. So these are leading examples as strong women breaking gender barriers in sports.
Gender bias exists in children when you talk about the toys that they play with. Girls don't play with trucks or stones or toy guns, and boys don't wear pink. Boys don't play with dolls. Gender bias exists from a very young age, and it is unconscious and it is real.